All right, okay. And I think in this video, I'm going to move my face a bit. Of course, it looks like on the channel my logo is popping up in front of my face. So let's fix that. Where's OBS? Just before we get started. So what I'm going to do today, let's bring this up. What I'm going to do today is be taking us through the quick start for the KdenLive editor. I've been using that for the editing of my videos on this channel. Some of them are good, some of my videos aren't so good, some of them I haven't edited at all. And so I've been doing that for a while and working with KdenLive. Of course, I'm on some old hardware. I have a new laptop coming and I could probably upgrade to something like DaVinci Resolve, but I'm a little bit dedicated to things like KdenLive. I believe that's the correct pronunciation, because I tend to like the open source stuff, and that's what I'm working with. And I can't install DaVinci Resolve on this. My video graphics card is too old. It's not compatible with the API. It's got some okay grunt in it, but I just can't get that editing software to work properly. And I tried quite hard. I'm running Manjaro on my desktop, so this is based on Linux. And so this has been something I've been wanting to do for a while. I've been self-teaching myself KdenLive and learning how to edit, and just Googling things that I needed to know here and there. But I want to take some time to get back to the basics and learn it up from front. Now I find my ability to focus on things like this can be a little bit hard, and I need a reason to focus on that. Now I'm really keen to get some more content up on my channel, try things out. I've got a few videos on a bit of my story about my changing career, some advice on changing careers and how to survive that. It's a bit of a vlog of my journey as I go through that. And so that's moving out of web development into things like content creation. So part of that is to run this exercise to try and do a live. I'd never done a live stream before until just the other day. I did one for a test, and this is my second one, which I haven't even advertised. I'm just going to record it and we'll see what happens once it's up. It'll be some more content. So I hope you can see this well enough. I'll zoom in a bit more in case you can't. So this is the quick start for KdenLive up here. So I'm going to go through this tutorial, and you can keep me company while we go through this. Keep in mind, I have a Slack channel open on my other monitor where I'm chatting with some of my friends to keep me busy. I should bring them into the chat on thing. I'll invite them perhaps, but they're busy watching the footy. It's Friday night and it's Friday night footy, but I'm just going to invite them quick. You know what? That link I just copied was straight from my studio where I'm streaming from. That's not the right one. How do I hit the share button? This is the one. Try this. And they might come and join us. Maybe we'll see. So I'm going to go through this one little bit at a time. Might as well read it out because I haven't gone through this. I gave this a quick skim. I do know I need to download this zip file, so I'm going to get that because that zip file's got some videos we can use for the editing. So I'm going to get that downloading right now just into my downloads. And what have we got? The first step's creating a new empty folder for our new project. We'll call it Quick Start Tutorial. So let's do that then. Go and create a new folder. Here's my my file manager, new folder, Quick Start Tutorial. Go, done. Then get some sample video clips or download them here. It's KdenLive, and extract them to. Once we put them in a sub, well, we can do that. Extract them to the. What does it say? Where did I see that? See how easy I get lost. Simply and extract them to the quickstart just videos directory. So we'll create another one. Oh, it'll be in downloads. We've got to extract that. Here it is. Let's extract these to that videos directory we had. Quick start. Make one called videos. That's because it doesn't matter if it's got a capital. We can rename it if we need to. Woohoo! And they're here. Sweet. Good, so got some sample videos to use for the project. The image on the left shows the suggested directory structure. Each project has its own directory with video files, video subdirectory, audio files and audio directory. See also project and file management. We'll come back to that. This tutorial from now on assumes that you're using the videos provided. So where's this image on the left? Has it gone away because... this image. It's up the top. All right, quick start tutorial, audio videos, quick start tutorial.KdenLive. I guess we'll make that folder. I didn't download any audio. Was there audio in that archive? No? All right, we'll find out about that later, I guess. The image on the left shows the suggested directory structure. Each project has its own directory with video files in the video subdirectory, audio files in the audio directory. See also project and file management. We open KdenLive and create a new project. Let's do that then. KdenLive, come on. While we'll wait for that to open. I think I said I've used KdenLive before, so I'm pretty familiar with it. We have a new project here, so here's that. I don't know what all these windows and stuff, what their proper names are. Whoa! That's coming up. Probably warning me because I created some proxy files for a previous project. I don't really want to get rid of them right now, and I've got plenty of space, so let's not worry about that. File new, choose the previous created project folder and select an appropriate project profile. The video files provided are 720p. If you're using your own files and don't know which one to use, KdenLive will suggest an appropriate one when the first clips are added, so you can leave the field at whatever it is. Nice to know. I've seen that before. New. And well, we know this is going to change, so it's going to set it at 1080p and 25 FPS. What FPS did he say it was? 23.97. All right, so this should adjust. So we should be able to go with this. Okay, we haven't saved it or named it yet. Right. We've just set that so... If you like, you can change to the dark theme settings, color theme, breeze dark. Looks like I've already done that. Now the project is ready. Let's start adding some clips, i.e. the ones you downloaded. This is done via the project bin widget. A click on the add clip or folder icon directly opens the file dialog. A click on the small arrow shows a list of additional clip types that can be added as well. Video clips, audio clips, images, and other KdenLive projects can be added via the default add clip or folder dialog. I've always just dragged them in from my file explorer. After loading the clips, KdenLive will look similar to this. All right, let's do it their way. I usually just grab them like this, select them all, and drag them straight in there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it their way just for consistency. Go away. I clicked that by accident. Now it said to use this, didn't it? Add clip or folder. Is that the one we got to do? What did it say? Yep, add clip and directly opens the file dialog and we'll select the folders. Pretty intuitive. Videos, what do we call this thing? Quick start tutorial. Videos. Select them all. Okay. See here where it talked about changing the project settings. It's detected the first clip that got added as 720p by 23.98 FPS, just like the document said. Do we want to switch? Yes, we'll switch. So now what's our project settings say? There, it's changed. 720 by 23.98. Cool. And they're in a different order than in the, because they got the billiards at the top. Billiard, Napoli, piano, spoon. Billiard, Napoli, piano, spoon. They're just in a different order. Weird. Don't know why it's a different order. Doesn't change. Doesn't matter. Right. To the... After loading the clips, KdenLive will look similar to this. On the top left, there is already known project bin. To the right of it are the monitors that show video. The clip monitor displays video from the original clips. That's this. The project monitor shows the output video, shows how the output video will look with all the effects, transitions, etc. applied. That's this window. I know that already. The third, also very important, item is the timeline below the monitors. That's this, right? This is the place where the video clips will be edited. There are two different types of tracks, video and audio. Video tracks can contain any kind of clip, audio tracks as well, but when dropping a video file to the audio track, only the audio will be used. Is that true? Let me go and have a look. We've got, it's a video. So when I drop a video file here, it doesn't have an audio track. Usually my videos have, do any of these have audio too? Because what you get is the video track in the video and the audio track in the audio. V1 and A1 tend to go together. So there's video track, audio track, audio track. I've never successfully put a video onto an audio track that I remember. Interesting. The timeline. This is the place where video clips will be edited. There are two types of tracks. We went through that. Let's save the work via file save. This saves our project, i.e. where we place the clips on the timeline, which effects we applied and so on. It cannot be played. The process of creating the final video is called rendering. I mean, it can't be played. Let's save it. What are we calling this thing? Quickstart tutorial.KdenLive, I think we're going to call it. So it's here, quickstart-tutorial.KdenLive. Let's just copy that so I don't have to type it. Yep, so I was trying to save it in a cache spot, but we'll put it here. Okay. What's next? Let's learn what we're going to learn about the timeline. In this quick start section, we'll not go into the details of the timeline and its components. More detailed information is available in the timeline section of this documentation. We can look at that later. Maybe not this session. Now comes the actual editing. Project clips are combined to the final result on the timeline. Project clips are combined to the final result on the timeline. Whatever that means. They get there by drag and drop. Drag some Napoli, assuming you're using the files provided above, as in the rest of this quick start tutorial. If not, please. from the project bin and drop it onto the first track in the timeline, in this case, track version 2. Since some cutlery is needed as well, grab the spoon clip and drop it on the first track as well, track V2, then drag the Napoli to the beginning of the timeline, otherwise the rendered video would start with some seconds of plain black. And the spoon right after the Napoli, such that it looks like in the image on the left where I have zoomed in with the control wheel. Okay. So, put some soup in V2 and a spoon. And he says it can't be played, but you can. Look, whee! Oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? Is that pumpkin or something? Pumpkin soup. And then we need a spoon, mate. Hey, there's a spoon. Nice. I swear, did you hear that spoon hit the table? There's no audio on this, but swear to God. And done. The result can already be previewed by pressing the space or the play button in the project monitor, which is what I did. And then this thing's distracting over here. Just turn that off. You will see the Napoli directly followed by a spoon. If the timeline cursor is not at the beginning, the project monitor will start playing somewhere in the middle. So that's talking about, it's pretty obvious. If you put the playhead there, it'll play from there. If you put it here, it'll play from there. All right. We know that. You can move it by dragging it either on the timeline ruler or in the project monitor. If you prefer keyboard shortcuts, Control Home does the same for the monitor that is activated. Select project monitor if it is not selected yet before using the shortcut. Control Home does the same for the monitor that is activated. I think they left a bit of information out, but what we're talking about, we can move the playhead up here in under the project monitor, or we can move it down here. What I believe Control Home does is jump all the way to the beginning. So if I select down here and hit Control Home, it goes all the way to the beginning. And if we move one up here, and if we're up in the project monitor and we hit Control Home, so it's the same thing. So it always takes the playhead back to the beginning. Of course. I kind of knew all that already, but this is stuff that just came naturally to me. It's interesting to go through this process. Since After Eating comes playing, there is a billiards clip. Add it to the timeline as well. Track V1. For the first 1.5 seconds, nothing happens in the clip, so it should perhaps be cut to avoid the video becoming boring. Right, so let's add it. Billiards. So they reckon, so we'll play from the beginning of billiards and they reckon nothing happens. There, and then something happens. Cool. All right. Since After Eating, there's a billion, so add it to the timeline. Nothing happens. So it should be cut to avoid the video becoming boring. I assume they're going to tell us how to cut it now. Let's zoom in a bit. An easy way for this is to move the timeline cursor to the desired position, i.e. the position where you want to cut the video, and then drag the left border of the clip. When the resize marker appears, it will snap in at the timeline cursor when you move close enough. Oh, we're supposed to put it on track V1. Here it, boom. Does it snap to the... No, anyway. I think, of course, I've turned snapping off when I've been using this before. That's this icon down here. I know, if I hover over that, that says snap. Press shift for more. Ooh. Press shift for more. Apparently not. If we hover it and then press shift. Toggles the snap function. Clip snap to the playhead, edges, markers, guides, and others. Yeah, cool. Turn that off, and now it'll... there we go. Snappy, snap. And it'll snap to the playhead too. Doom. Nice. So we want to cut it, but it didn't tell us exactly how much to cut. So... Then drag the left border of the clip when the resize marker appears. It will snap in at the timeline cursor when you move close enough. It's not perfectly straight. I know what to do, but it's not. Let's zoom in a bit for this. Where do I want to cut it? I want to cut it there. Now I'd usually use this cut feature. Press X and then click. You press X and then click here, and then just press S and then select that bit and delete it. That's how I would normally do it, but it's suggesting to do it this way. That's another way to do it. Now we're going to go in and look at, so now it should play. Hey, look at that. Spoon. Clip. God, this is simple stuff. Right. Now we want to add a transition, so we need to do overlaps. See, maybe I cut it too much. We can fix that if we need to. To add a transition between eating the spoon and playing billiards, the two clips need to overlap. To be precise, place the second clip above or below the first one. The first clip should end some frames after the second one begins. Zooming in until the ticks for single frames appear helps here. Zooming in until the ticks for... Is that what these are? Ticks for single frames. Zooming in until the ticks for single frames appear helps here. It also makes it easy to always have the same transition duration, 5 frames in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. You can zoom in by either using the zoom slider. I've been using control and mouse wheel. Didn't mention it, just did it without thinking. You can zoom in by either using the zoom slider at the bottom right corner of the KDN window or with the control mouse wheel. The zoom slider. It's this. Yeah. Oh, see, it zoomed in way up there. Control home. Zoom in. See, it zooms in where the mouse is. See if I move the mouse over here and control and mouse wheel forward, it zooms in on the Napoli. If I do it here on the transition, it did for a bit, it zooms on the transition. Now, it's 5 frames, it said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, see, it's gonna, you're not going to see the white ball come in. We cut it too much. So I'm going to extend that a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't want to zoom that far. That's quick transition. I still think I want a couple more frames on it. Give me... That should be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. Yeah, that's good. KdenLive will zoom to the timeline cursor. So first set it to the position which you want to see enlarged, then zoom in. That's not true. It doesn't zoom in to that unless it zooms in where your mouse is. See? So it'll zoom in over here. It does if you use this slider. All right. Doesn't matter where that is. The playhead lies. Maybe it's old. Now that the clips overlap, their transition can be added. This is done either by clicking on the upper... This is done either by right-clicking on the upper clip and choosing Insert a Composition. See, I haven't done this. Oh, I've never done a transition. I've always just done a fade. I'm learning something. Bam. Now that the clips overlap, the transition can be added. This is done either by right-clicking on the upper clip and choosing Insert a composition and choose wipe, or easier by hovering the mouse over the lower right corner of the spoon clip until the pointing finger pointer is shown and the message click to add composition appears. Is that easier? The latter, by default, adds a wipe transition, which is in this case the best idea anyway, since the spoon is not required for playing. Right, whatever. The spoon's not required for playing. So I reckon you can grab this. See, usually you do the fade. If I grab that red button, we'll get a fade effect like this. See, and zoom out. We'll go play, and we'll see it fade. See the fade? It's very quick, but a wipe transition, do the same thing. A wipe transition. What happens if we right click and insert composition wipe? Same thing, undo. How's that look? It's so quick I can't tell the difference. See, can we slow this playhead down? I can, looks very much like a fade anyway. All right. Okay, I've never used those transitions. I've seen them and wondered what I suspected what they were, but since I was using the fade and that number of frames, you can't tell the damn difference. I can't anyway, my eyes don't. But okay, fair. The wipe transition fades the first clip into the second one. But that's what a fade does. It's what a wipe fades. I don't think it does. That's why I want to play it slow. Oh, I don't need to press play. I can go one bit at a time. Look. It does fade. Look, it fades. Fades one into the other. Now, if I take that transition off, I look at all the different kinds. But how do you delete it? How do you delete the transition? That shortens it and lengthens it. You know how I grabbed the edge and delete. Oh, well, we got it. Now there's no fade. It just suddenly jumps at the end where it crosses over. But doesn't the fade do the? See, watch. That looks exactly the same as doing this. Go figure. All right. The wipe transition fades the first clip into the second one. See also transitions and compositions. We'll have to go and read that later. So we want to read up next time on timeline, and then we want to read up on transitions and compositions. So we've got some work coming to do down the track. Let's now add the last clip, the piano, and again apply a wipe transition. When adding it on the first track of the timeline, track V2, you need to click on the new clip's lower left edge to add the transition to the previous clip. So there's the wipe transition there, and you want to wipe another one here. So let's do it. Let's add the piano. Zoom out a bit. Zoom in, get the piano. We'll zoom in so we can make sure we got 5 frames again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how did it say to do it? When adding it on the first track of the timeline, you need to click on the new clip's lower left edge. Lower left edge. To add the transition to the previous clip. What do they mean? Need to click on the new clip's lower left edge. Left is this side. Down to add the transition to the previous clip. To the previous clip. That's the previous clip. Oh, I see. Like this. Nice. Play the whole thing. Go to the beginning, zoom out, press space. Oh, that's a lot of soup. A lot of soup today. Takes a while. It's come along. Gonna need a spoon. Magic spoon. Gee, did you hear that hit the table? Time for games. Time to play billiards. That's not billiards, that's pool. Oh, and now we're playing piano. But no one's actually playing. It's just a keyboard. All right. Great video. Woohoo! What's next? Effects. This is exciting. Effects. And let's just scroll in here a bit better. So let's take in RGB. We're going to do something with RGB, right? The effect list. Cool. Now, see the project bin? It's here. Effects. Type RGB. Now it looks like the image. RGB adjustment. Is that what we had? Yep. So do it again. We're in the project bin. Click on effects. Click up here. RGB. And then we've got RGB adjustment. Doing what it put in the picture. Let's go read. Piano can be colorized by adding an effect to it. Click on the effect view. If effect view is not visible, enable view effects. Oh, effect view. Click on the effect view if the effect view is not visible. I guess that's the effect view is the tab I clicked on as per following the image. Type RGB in the search field, then double click the RGB adjustment effect. We haven't clicked it. Let's read on to make sure we don't see if we need to know anything. Once the effect has been added, click on an empty part in the timeline and you see its name on the timeline clip. Once the effect has been added, click on an empty part in the timeline and you see its name on the timeline clip. It will also be shown in the effect composition stack widget. I think this is the effect composition stack widget. This looks a bit different to mine, but now what does it say? To get a warm yellow orange tone on the image fitting the comfortable evening, blue needs to be reduced and red green improved. The values in the well, let's just get the effect on there first. I reckon you can double click it. So if I select piano, double click. And then click in an empty space. RGB adjustment, there it is. And click on this again. See, I got the effects window down over here instead of up in here. So of course I clicked on this. Right. So click on this effects up here and it brings it up here instead. I just don't use these very much. Of course, I can click on here and it just brings it up over here. It's just fine by me. To get a effect stack with RGB adjustment. Right, so now we want to change it to warm yellow. What does it say? To get a warm yellow-orange tone on the image fitting the comfortable evening, blue needs to be reduced and red-green improved. The values in the effect composition stack widget can be stacked. So it's like you can put effects one after the other. It just goes straight in and just stack. So like I know that if I go to effects and pick some other random, right? So now in this window, you've got the Gaussian blur effect I just added stacked underneath the RGB one. And we can delete it. Change it to the effects window. Does it look better up here? Yeah, Gaussian blur here. I'm still gonna stick to my editing tab. It's what I'm used to. And click on this and delete the Gaussian blur one. That's what it means by a stack. The values in the effect composition stack widget can be changed by using the slider. Middle mouse button resets it to the default value. Does it now? Does too. Awesome. The values in the by entering a value directly by double clicking the number to the right of the slider. Cool. I can put 250. Press enter. There we go. It's at 250. Middle mouse button. Back to default. The effect composition stack widget also refers to the timeline clip that is currently selected. Yeah. So that's showing the effects of that clip. Select that clip. It shows the effects for that clip, and there are none. The effect composition stack widget also refers to the timeline clip that is currently selected. Each effect can be temporarily disabled by clicking the eye icon, or all effects for that clip can be disabled using the checkbox at the top of the effect composition stack widget. The settings are saved though. Don't know what it means by settings. So I've found that before. I can turn that. So we can see it, the blue, and we can turn this off and back on and off and back on. But we can turn the whole lot off. I've actually noticed that. So if we had two effects, that had turned both of them off. Does that? The settings are saved or they're not? The settings are saved though. Don't know what that means. Put that back on default. Okay, let's keep going. This is useful for effects that require a lot of computing power, so they can be disabled when editing and enabled again for rendering. Fair call. For some effects like I've used it myself for when I've got, say, a fade effect and a transition and a fade, and I'm trying to do a transition to move the frame around and I can't see the bottom one, so I'll turn the effect off on the top one and then I can do my work and turn the fade back on again. Like for example, say I wanted to, I won't go into it. We'll do it later. We'll stick to the tutorial, Bevan. For some effects, like the one used here, it is possible to add keyframes. The framed watch icon indicates this. That's it doesn't show one, but it does in my KDE. It does in mine. Look, that's this, but it's not in the screenshot. Is it? Am I blind? That's not there, but it is on mine. Okay. All right, so keyframes are used for changing effect parameters over time. I might have to explain this if it doesn't make sense to you. In our clip, this allows us to fade the piano's color from a warm evening color to a cold night color. Right, so what that means is you can, each one of these bars along here is a different frame in this clip. So see when I move this playhead, the playhead over here moves too. Right, so you can set points at each different frame, and then for each of these, like I can reduce the settings just for this section, right? We'll get rid of that one, move this later. So it takes some time, I won't put it at the end, but now if I play this, it should change from when you come down here. See the color changes slowly? Gets more towards the blue. By the time it gets to here, so it adds it, so it slowly changes the, see that this bar moves as we move along. So that's what a keyframe is, this, where you set a value on that one and it'll gradually change to that. So let's go through the instructions then. After clicking the keyframe icon, the clock icon framed in the previous image, which it's not, the properties widget will rearrange. By default, there will be 2 keyframes, one at the beginning of the timeline clip and one at the end. Well, I didn't know that I could just click that clock and get 2 automatically. Boom. That just turned them off. Show keyframes. They were on already. And they're wrong. There's not one automatically at the end. There's no keyframe at the end. Oh, does that mean this one? Hang on. No, it still doesn't. I still don't see any clocks here. But I do here. That's how to add a keyframe. But it just adds it where the playhead is. I did it by double clicking. Double click to remove it. See, add one. Double click to add one. Double click to remove it. Or you can use this icon. And this will move it by a frame. No, it jumps to the end. It jumps to the next keyframe. So maybe there's just one set by default at the end. Yeah, but I can't set anything because there's not one there. I have to add one. The instructions are wrong. After clicking the keyframe icon, the clock icon framed in the previous image, the properties widget will rearrange. By default, there will be 2 keyframes, one at the beginning of the timeline clip and one at the end. Yeah. Move the timeline cursor to the end of the timeline clip such that the project monitor actually shows the new colors when changing the parameters of the keyframe at the end. Move the timeline cursor to the end of the timeline clip. Hang on, get rid of that keyframe we had. Move the cursor to the end such that the project monitor actually shows the new colors when changing the parameters of the keyframe at the end. Do you understand that? I'm not worried about it. I don't think that makes any sense. Make sure that the last keyframe is selected in the properties list. When you are ready to flood the piano with a deep blue. What properties list? Add a keyframe. I mean, you select it by clicking on it and it goes red. I don't know what this properties list that they're talking about is. Doesn't matter. Then we're ready to flood the piano with a deep blue. Moving the timeline cursor to the beginning of the project and playing it with space or play button in the project monitor. The project's in there. It never actually told us to change any. I'll just change it to what this says. I don't see this either. I think this is just an old screenshot. But we want to change it. 775. 520 and 930. 520, 930. Purple, nice. Then you are ready to flood the piano with a deep blue. It's purple. Moving the timeline cursor to the beginning of the project and playing it with space or the play button in the project monitor, the piano should now change color as desired. So it should slowly go from, look, you see the keyframes on the clip here. Ooh. Click there. And it'll get into the blue slowly. There we go. Turn it off. Ooh, looks nice. Keyframing was the hardest part of this tutorial. Tell me about it. If you manage to do it, you will master KdenLive easy. Right. In this quick start section, we brushed over the effects very quickly. More details about effects and explanation of each effect is available in the effects and composition section, the effects and composition section of this documentation. Great. We can go to that later too. Have to put these all in a bookmark to come back for later. Audio fade out. I didn't download any audio files. What are we going to find out here? Since the clips do not provide any audio, let's search for some nice piece of music from our local collection or on the web pages like Jamendo. What's Jamendo? Let's go check that out in a second. Let's keep reading. I'll come back to it. After adding the audio clip to the project bin, it should be dragged to an audio track on the timeline. We should know how to do all this now. We can add clips to the project bin, and the audio is just like the video, and we can drag it from our file manager. That's how I do it. I'll do it that way because I showed you how to add the videos through the button earlier. The audio clip can be resized on the timeline the same way as video clips can. The cursor will snap in at the end of the project automatically. To add a fade out effect at the end of the audio clip, using fades on the videos before, except if you found a file with exactly the right length, you can hover over the top right or left edge of the timeline clip and drag the red shaded triangle to the position where fading out should start. And then we'll get on to rendering. Let's go some audio then, yeah? So, let's get an audio file from Jamendo Music. Is this for freebies? Royalty-free music for commercial use. Cool. I learned something. Well, I've learned a few things, but that's... And free streaming, free download, royalty-free music for commercial use, music for videos, background music for any venue. What? Which button do I click? Discover new in a free streaming, free download. All right, I think this is what I want. 250,000 royalty-free music tracks. I don't know what we got to find some music. I'm not going to be fussy. Our subscription offers unlimited access to this subscription for commercial use. 19R. Nah. We can get sounds from somewhere else. I actually used some in my video recently. Let's go videos. This one. Oh, no, not that one. That's an old file. Clean that up. Where's my... Did I back it up? Dope. Where did I get that music from the other day? Of course, if we're going to be live... Let's go search through my history quick. Search history for music. Don't do it there. New tab. This can click back. What's the name of this? NCS. So ncs.io, we can get some music that I can grab a attribution from here. What's this one like? So, am I logged in right? Download track. Download instrumental version. It's attribution text to be copied. See, we'll put this in the description, but you can see it here in the video. Zoom in so you can see it. This is the attribution. Song by Shea, Maisel and Clark's Help Me Help You. NCS release. Music provided by No Copyright Sounds. That's what that stands for. No Copyright Sounds. free download, ncs.io from here, which is this address. Or you can watch it on YouTube, but let's save this. Okay, save to videos, quick start tutorial, audio, save. All right, so that's downloaded already. So now open KDE, open this, go to quick start tutorial and audio, do that slot. Quick start tutorials where the videos file, there's our project file, audio, there's our song clip. Let's import that. I'm going to drag it down here and see it's way too long. Go back to our tutorial again. The audio clip can be resized on the timeline the same way video clips can. See, so I can resize it like that. So now it ends. Boom. The cursor will snap at the end of the project automatically. To add a fade out effect at the end of the audio clip, drag the red shaded triangle to the position where the fade out should start. So that's down here. See, this, it's not a triangle, it's a circle. And this is what I said before, the fade. We can put a fade like about there. Let's play. We can actually make this full screen if I hit F twice. Yeah, but it's gone on that other screen. Ends okay. All right. A few minutes left and the project is finished. Click the render button or go to project render or press Control Enter. I didn't know you could press Control Enter to get the dialogue shown on the left. This one I'm familiar with. Select the desired output file for our new video with all the effects and transitions. Choose the MP4, works nearly everywhere. Select the output file location and press the render to file button. After some seconds, rendering will be finished and your first KdenLive project is completed. Okay, and here's some references for you to take note of. We'll come back to that in a minute. And all right, render. Control Enter. Well, it's under Project Render. I've done this before. So we can click on that, or we can hit Control Enter with the keyboard. It's automatically done it as an MP4. I've got my video settings, so it automatically saves that into the project directory. And generic H. This is the same settings I use for all my YouTube videos. And we'll hit render. And it says a few seconds. I think it's going to take a little longer than that. Ah, no, not too long. It's pretty quick. It's a short video. 40, 45%, 50, halfway there. Let's go look at some references while we're here. Here's some stuff. Is the video height. P stands for progressive scan in contrast to interlaced video. And the FPS number denotes the number of full frames. Provided configure KdenLive settings under configure KdenLive is set to check. Okay, cool. What are these referencing to? Can we jump up directly from these? We can. What's this? KdenLive will suggest an appropriate one when the clip is first added. This is for the settings. It did. Provided configure KdenLive settings is set to check if first add clip matches. Good, nice. 4. That's where it said this saves our project, but it cannot be played. To be correct, it can be played using meltproject.KdenLive. But this is not the way you would want to present your final video since it's most likely too slow. Melt. I saw that in my process things before. Additional only works if Melt is installed. I want to try it. CD, videos, quick start, Melt. KdenLive. Is it gonna play? Oh, fail. Oh, fun little exercise. Look into that later. These are all boring. This is done now, right? Now we should have an MP4 version of our video down here, which we can play with VLC. Let's have a look. Pretty basic, pretty simple. We're coming to the end of it. Leave it. For joining me. Quick start video editing. We've come to the end of the video. It's been nice having you. Thanks for having me. See you next time. Ciao.